I'm often asked to speak about the future of work, and it's a tricky subject because we can't quite be sure that the role that technology will play in creating employment or unemployment over the next 10, 20 or 30 years. For a century now, people have been predicting that technology will cause widespread unemployment, but so far it hasn't happened. The economist John Maynard Keynes famously said in 1930 that by 2030 there would be widespread technological unemployment. In other words, unemployment caused by, as he would not have called it, information technology. Now, so far, what we've seen is that as each wave of information technology comes through, people are displaced from their jobs, whether they were typesetters or counter clerks and so on. But new jobs keep popping up. I mean, for example, 25 years ago, how many tattoo parlours were there on our high streets? And how many dog hairdressers were there? How many yoga instructors? How many personal trainers? How many private tutors? And what this teaches us is that as we as a society find more production handed over to technology, so we find more interesting things for humans to do. And basically, most often, they are providing services to other humans. Now, in the next 20 years, we're almost certainly going to see strong AI and robotics creating widespread redeployment, perhaps not unemployment. And as a result, people will be free to do, well, we don't really know what we'll want them to do. Perhaps they'll provide us with more Uber-style taxi services. Perhaps they'll provide us with more home handy helps like TaskRabbit does today. Perhaps we humans will be taking the load off each other through more and more child-minding via app and doing household tasks and laundry. And of course, as the baby boomers enter their second childhood, so we're going to need many, many more carers for the elderly and the very elderly. Will this soak up the unemployment, the redeployment that technology is going to create? Well, I think it will for the next 2 decades. But I think by the middle 2030s, AI and robotics will be becoming so powerful that in fact millions and millions of people may be displaced from their types of employment. We will retrain, we'll start going to college at several times during our lives, not just in young adulthood. We'll go back in our 30s and our 40s and our 50s and our 60s and our 70s and so on, and we'll retrain, we'll find new skills, but will there be the work by, say, 2040? Well, perhaps not. And what that means, of course, is that, as I've said before, we are going to find a way to tax the robots. We need to keep income flowing into our economy. And if robots were left to create wealth without contributing through taxation, then, of course, everything breaks down. But for the moment, which means 10 or 20 years, I don't think we're going to see the sort of mass unemployment that some people are talking about.